Close out that series. They now head to Chicago as they're taking on the White Sox at a 4-game set in Arlington at Globe Life Field. Starts right here on your home for Rangers baseball. San Antonio Sports Stars starting at 6:30. The Astros are in a tie with the Rangers atop the AL West standings as they now head to Oakland to open up a series with the A's starting at 8:40.
This is Extra Innings with Pledger.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me, however you may be joining, whether that's on 94.1 FM, if you're listening on the radio, if you're listening via our AA audio player, AA Best Bail Bonds audio player out at sasportstar.com. Via any of the streaming apps, or if you're streaming live on our YouTube channel, you can watch all of our shows live as they happen on SA Sports Star's YouTube channel. Just go to SA Sports Star, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, let you know when we go live with our content. Of course, everybody can feel free to chime along in the chat. Josh Jimenez, Lloyd D, Fred Records, Jacob Error, already in the chat, and you can always get at me on Twitter, Instagram at I am Pledger. You can follow the station at SA Sports Star. And following the station, especially on Instagram, going to be very crucial as we get ready for Dallas Cowboys training camp, which starts next week. Well, it starts on Wednesday, but we start our coverage live from the tennis courts in Oxnard all week long, starting on Monday, presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. And if you've been a part of any of our training camp coverage in the past, you will know that it is top tier. We have players, interviews, behind the scene footage, some of the latest of what's going on in camp, including deals that break as they break, like the other year when we had the Trayvon Diggs deal and the Zach Martin deals breaking during programming. We let you know first and foremost while we were there, and all the details that come along with it. So be sure to follow us at SA Sports Star on Instagram for all the behind the scenes coverage, including videos of practice, reps, how people are doing, interviews. It's all going to end up there. It is brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipes Pork Rinds. And a lot of questions still unanswered for the Dallas Cowboys as they still haven't gotten a deal done with Dak. Still haven't gotten a deal done with CD. I'm worried less about Micah. That is a future problem. Right now, you got to focus on what's in front of you, and you've got Dak going into the final year of his deal in which you can't tag him. You can't trade him, not without his consent. And you're risking the potential of him actually hitting the open market, which a quarterback in their prime just doesn't happen when you're talking about a top quarterback in the league. And Jeremy Fowler of ESPN reported over the week that the Cowboys have made it clear to Prescott privately that they want to extend him as the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. But as they get ready to report to training camp this week, they are prioritizing an extension with wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, who may or may not be at training camp when they report on Wednesday. And that's the biggest thing, is if he's holding Cowboys' hands to get that one done first, which it's understandable. Jerry made the comments way back before the Senior Bowl, or at the Senior Bowl, about the Cowboys being all in with the guys that they have, whatever, however you want to parse it. And to this point, nothing has happened to back up the claim of Jerry's all-in comment. And I think Cowboy fans are a little bit fed up with the words and want to see some more action. And that comes to Jerry and his actions in the offseason, but also the Cowboys and their actions on the field. And it started with that playoff loss to Green Bay, and everything seemingly has just been simmering ever since. Michael Irvin, former Cowboy great, Hall of Famer, friend of the show, or friend of the station, was on earlier today with Jim Rome and brought up the loss to Green Bay and the emotions that are tied to something like that, and how it happened, but also was asked by Jim Rome if he understands what this Cowboys offseason has been because of the comments by Jerry Jones and then the actual lack of action behind those words that have come to fruition so far throughout this offseason.
Well, first of all, we're in a pickle here in this sense. Your top three players are up. Not up, but they're saying, give me more money. And each one of them deserves the money that they're asking for. Dak Prescott was second in the MVP race, and the season my 88 had was just plain incredible. And the young beast that Michael Parsons has been, even on a first-round deal, he's been a steal. So all of them are deserving of what they're asking for. But I always say, man, there's so much money out here to be made, and these guys are going to make a lot of money, and they're going to get a lot of money. I just want them to know that I want them to know what it feels like to be an actual champion. And that's going to take sacrifices. And for this team to do it, it may even take some sacrifices in the financial department for these guys to also, hey, let's come together and let's go do what we're going to do. And we may not get every penny we want or deserve on the front end, but when we win championships, baby, the money will never stop running on the back end because it just never stops running when you win championship. I'm still signing autographs and making millions of dollars. You see what I'm saying? It never stops running when you put those kinds of trophies in your cupboard.
And he makes a great point in terms of the money you can make on the back end after winning titles, especially when you're associated with the Dallas Cowboys. The problem becomes championships are not guaranteed. So there is the potential to sacrifice money on the front end, not make money on the back end, especially when there's guys like Patrick Mahomes doing what Tom Brady did, which is taking championships away from a lot of different players throughout their careers that probably would have won one in years past because of the dynastic nature of their run and the teams that they're playing with. And let's face it, seeing Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, that offense that struggled at times last year does not look like that's going to be the case this year for that Kansas City Chiefs team. They're on a mission to three-peat. So getting to a Super Bowl, winning a Super Bowl, getting championships, those things aren't guaranteed. And I understand taking less money. The salary cap is always increasing. And you don't hear about owners being like, oh man, I'm sorry you never got your Super Bowl. You remember all that money that you didn't get from me because you took it at a discount in order so we could win? Here, I'm going to pay you that money back after the fact. It just doesn't happen. So I don't agree with that logic because these players are in the market for themselves. Like Michael Irvin, you are a hit away from your football career potentially being over. CeeDee Lamb, who's about to make his first big contract. You can say what you want about Dak, and maybe he should be the one to take less. But by taking less as a top of the market player, you hurt the market behind you, the other players that are coming up. And it is a fine line to walk in terms of how you get your money. Now, could it be a longer term deal where it's spread out further, which allows them to be able to do more? That's absolutely a case, but that's never really been Dak or what we are hearing CD's motivations get to the table again. It's going to be very interesting because while Dak has been a top quarterback in the regular season, the postseason success has not been there. But even Michael Irvin knows you can't pin it all on Dak Prescott.
You got to put everything where it is. We are what we are. And not just Dak. A lot of people on that football team has not stepped up and made the plays. You talk about that Green Bay game. There were literally guys running wide the damn open. I have never seen anybody run that wide open in an NFL game like they were running wide open in that playoff game against Dallas. So, yes, Dak has to make the play because ultimately we're going to measure him on how he does in the playoffs, in those big games. And he has to step up and make plays in those big games. And he has not done that to the degree I'm sure that he likes, and certainly to the degree that the fan base here in Dallas would like. So, yes, he has to step up and make plays, but everybody around him has to step up and make plays also.
It's all going to come down to Jerry Jones and whether he is comfortable walking this thing through all the way up to the final hours, because if Dak has the opportunity to hit free agency, those numbers could balloon because there are quarterbacks or teams that need quarterbacks every single year. You can argue one of them is in Dallas's division with the New York Giants. I would think the Las Vegas Raiders, the Seattle Seahawks, the New Orleans Saints could all use an upgrade at quarterback over what they currently have. Training camp gets started on Wednesday. Training camp has already started for the Houston Texans as they sign another running back to the roster. What does it mean for the future of a former third-round pick? And could he be a fit in Dallas? We'll talk about that coming up next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hello, San Antonio. This is Chip with Diamond J Properties. You're invited to our waterfront land sale this Saturday, July 27th, where you can own land in a waterfront community starting at just $49.9. That's right, $49.9. Don't miss this opportunity to own coastal waterfront land priced below market value. Estates with panoramic sunset and sunrise views, excellent fishing, pool, cabana, pier, boat slips, and boat launch. Each estate has paved road frontage and underground utilities. This one-day sale is this Saturday, July 27th, by appointment only. Call now, 210-853-0389. That's 210-853-0389. Call 210-853-0389. For your priority showing, call now. Don't miss this opportunity. Call 210-853-0389.
For your priority showing, call now.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his... With Grainger's eyes and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Dive into the Marvel Universe on the official Marvel Podcast. We're going behind the scenes with the creators behind Marvel Comics, the stars of the MCU, and Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige.
But if you want the real answer, if we're trying to get real on this podcast,
Celebrate the legacy of your favorite Marvel adventures and characters. The official Marvel Podcast.
I think this show's going to be a real treat.
New episodes every Wednesday wherever you listen to podcasts.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
A healthy weight, more energy, and smooth, regular bowel movements. 3 things everyone strives for.
It's me, Chuck Norris. There's one really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. Achy joints, digestive issues, weight gain, and fatigue. We're told these are normal signs of aging. So working with the team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick.
Morning Kick is a revolutionary formula combining 10 different supplements in one. Probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, focused, and help manage stress.
Anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com. Use code SAVE or text SAVE to 511-511 and claim 40% off today.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee.
Text SAVE to 511-511. Morning Kick. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger here on San Antonio Sports Star. Rangers baseball coming up here at the bottom of the hour. We are your home for Texas Rangers baseball. Well, the Dallas Cowboys get set to head to camp on Wednesday. The Houston Texans have been in camp, and one of the things that happened was over the weekend, they decided to make a signing that I'd kind of been clamoring for the Dallas Cowboys to make, knowing what their situation at running back had been, but they end up bringing in Cam Akers to add more depth to a running back room that now also holds Joe Mixon, Dameon Pierce, Cam Akers, Daria Gumbawale, and Jawar Johnson, the running back from Louisville that they drafted in the draft this year. And with that addition, it's a very crowded room now. So could somebody potentially be on the move in terms of a trade prior to or during training camp? And Dameon Pierce would be a guy that I think may be that guy. It depends on where he is with the system. We remember last year he admitted to struggling with picking up the Shanahan system. Cam Akers has been in this system in his 2 stops, both when he was with the Los Angeles Rams with Sean McVay and with Kevin O'Connell up in Minnesota. So Cam Akers knows the system. Are they getting ready to potentially unload a running back that may not fit into the system with Bobby Slowick and the Houston Texans? I'm just saying it's something to keep an eye on as we get closer and closer to all teams being at camp and people making moves, because between their running back depth now and their wide receiver depth, the Houston Texans are either going to have to make some tough cuts or find some teams that are lacking at those positions to make trades. And the Dallas Cowboys are primed to be in the mix on potentially picking up wide receivers and running backs when it comes to teams that will potentially losing good players to cuts when it comes down to it here towards the end of August. It's going to be a very, very interesting situation. I think Miami's running back room is another room full of running backs where you could see a Jeff Wilson Jr. potentially on the outside of that roster bubble looking in all of a sudden, which would be an upgrade, it feels like, in the Dallas Cowboys running back room when you're talking about Rico Dowdle, Zeke Elliott, Deuce Vaughn as your top options. But the Texans have incredibly high expectations. One of the reasons is they have a young quarterback on a rookie deal and have put a lot of weapons around CJ Stroud to make sure that he can be as successful as possible. And even the defenders, like Derek Stingley, knows about those weapons they have on the offensive side of the ball now.
The group we got now, I feel like it's, you just throw it to whoever, they probably going to score after the catch. So, I think the group we got now, they're pretty good.
Derek Stingley, a man of little words, including when talking about second-round pick Kamari Lassiter, who has been turning heads in camp and could potentially be the starter on the opposite side of him day one when they open things up against the Indianapolis Colts.
I can't even remember a catch being caught on him in a long time. So, he's doing what he's doing, and it's a reason here, and it's the light down that side of the field. So,
now, one of those offensive weapons that they've added to the fold has been Stephon Diggs, who I know we've talked about Chris Paul and what he's going to mean to some of the younger players on the Spurs team, but Stephon Diggs says he's got a similar role with these young receivers here with the Houston Texans, like Tank Dell and Nico Collins.
Seeing that I got some experience, I think it's just like it's the right thing to do, of course. Got a lot of young guys on this team, a lot of hungry, humble guys, just not just Tank. I just got to practice. I'm a little tired, but not just Tank. Nico, he just got paid and he's still seeking knowledge, still want to get better. But I'm just big on everybody kind of falling on the same sword. Like me being accountable firsthand. I'm not going to be perfect, but let's not ever coach effort. You know what I'm saying? And then technique. So it's just I feel like it's the right thing to do. Not just where I'm at in my career, but just how I've been for a long time. I've always led from the front. You know what I'm saying? Front line always, as young men say, we on the front line.
So where does that ability to lead come from for him?
Yeah, it's my whole life. But I guess kind of like around 14, like when my dad passed away, you kind of learned a lot of sacrifices going in, a lot of, mentorship even from your younger brothers, kind of being the man of the house. But as I grew as a young adult until now, just that's always been one of the focus of mine, bringing as many people with me. No matter how much success you have, always try to bring as many people with you. And, you won't dim your light at all, shedding light on anybody else, especially with these, they're real special. So out here just grinding and competing at a high level is one of my main focus.
These guys are special. And he says you won't dim your light bringing people along with you, which is a great attitude to have, because a lot of people look in the NFL like, this is my roster job. It is my duty to make sure that I am at my best to keep my roster job. And we see this with young quarterbacks all the time. There are some that don't mind teaching, and there are others that are like, you can learn by watching me, but I'm not going out of my way to help you. And it sounds like Stephon Diggs doesn't mind when players come to him with questions, imparting his wisdom that he has. And part of the reason that this feels so special for the Houston Texans this upcoming season, well, he says it's because of that guy under center.
It's a work in progress. I'm not going to say everything is perfect, but you see us kind of getting on the same page here and there. And, nothing's going to be perfect. I starve for it. We grind for it. But getting on the same page, play after play, and that communication, that open line of communication, I feel like that's going to really separate it, seeing that we have such a small period of time. But this isn't my first rodeo, and I'm not by no means, I get that title. I'm by no means reinventing the wheel. This is the same football we've been playing since we were 5. And 7 is special. I think everybody kind of knows that. I must reiterate it, though, because I see it firsthand, you know what I'm saying, and taking it play after play and building. So it's a work in progress, just to answer your question.
Now, rightfully so, offense has gotten a lot of shine because of the additions of Mixon, because of the additions of Stephon Diggs, because of what Tank, Nico, Dalton Schultz, and CJ Stroud did last year. But that defense has taken some strides forward this year with the additions of Daniil Hunter and Danico Autry and Aziz Al-Shahir. And Stingley says one of those question marks that we had has been what's going to happen on the other side of him when it comes to the other corner. And someone who's going against him a lot is Stephon Diggs. And he notices from that defense, they're putting in some work and they're doing battles.
Those are people I'm going to see every day, competing at a high level. I actually think Sting is, and I won't even, shake when I say that. I think he's one of the best DBs in the league, especially from talent level. And he can fast, he can run, he can break, and he compete at a high level throughout his career. So for me, just going in each and every day with a mindset of getting them better, like not only competing one-on-one. Yeah, I want to do you in the worst way, but it's out of love. You know what I'm saying? And even the young Lassner is, as they say, bringing in a guy that's ready. He could be ready. You know what I'm saying? He might even be ready right now. He's a guy that's, takes it day by day, technique, sound, seeking knowledge, and want to compete at a high level, and he ain't running from it. You know what I'm saying?
That is some encouraging words for the young rookie second-round pick for the Houston Texans, who could be starting day one against Indianapolis. This has been Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me. Coming up next, we got Rangers baseball for you right here as they get set to open up a series with the White Sox.
San Antonio's sports star.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose